Yeah, get 3 wood on that. No problem. There is absolutely no way you're getting 3 wood out of that lie. Not a chance. Best case scenario,
Out of the way.
Into those ferns there. Right, today we're going to really help you tidy up your scorecard by eliminating those silly, stupid errors that we all make on the golf course. I've found 5 different situations and scenarios, and I'm going to talk you through how to make better decisions, avoid those silly mistakes, stop making those triples and those quadruples, which is ultimately going to help you lower your scores. If you can do that, you won't be forced to have to
back
cheat
in play, just there in the
like
fairway.
this guy over here and try and fool your playing partners. Nobody wants to be this guy over here, and today we're going to help you avoid that by getting rid of those silly, stupid errors on the golf course. So I think we probably all appreciate that we could lower our scores just by cutting out some of those mistakes that we make. And I'm not talking golf swing mistakes, I'm talking mental mistakes, decision making that's poor. And we're going to cover lots of those in this video and give you some really practical things that you can take to the golf course next time you play to instantly lower your scores. Just before we get into that video, I'd love you to be part of the channel if you're not already. There's a subscribe button, can't say that. There is a subscribe button down below. Give that a click. Click the little bell icon as well. That just means you'll be notified when a new video does get released. Also, head down, drop me a comment. Let me know if you feel that there are some mistakes which could help some other people that maybe you do on the course. Let's make this a video where we can all get involved and help each other play some better golf. So let's get started into the first really common mistake that you can absolutely avoid when you play. Don't make the mistake of aiming at all the pins during your round of golf. Yes, there's going to be some flags which are in the middle of the green, and you might have a wedge in your hand and you feel like you can go at it, but this here is a great example of a situation where personally I wouldn't be going for the flag, and I would even guess that a handful of tour pros wouldn't be going at that flag as well. And reality check, you're not a tour pro, I'm not a tour pro, and it means that we have to play away from these flags. All too often, you know, I reckon I've got 150 yards to the front of the green here, I've got 162 yards to the centre of the green, which is pretty much where that flag is. So it's only an A time for me. It's a relatively short golf club, but going at that flag means that I will hit some shots in the water. I can't get away from that, that's just statistics. So what we have to think about is, and this is really how I want you to think about your golf game, you are playing with a group of shots in mind, not this particular shot. So had I taken my A tide onto the range, hit 100 shots and plotted those shots, if you can imagine my target, those golf balls would land around that target. There'd be a dispersion. I have to play with that in mind. So if I was to aim at this flag 100 times, let's make easy numbers, 50 of those shots would go right of it, 50 would go left of it, 50 would go a little long, 50 would go a little short. So I could easily hit a shot here which goes a little right, a little short, I'm in the water. It's not really a bad swing, it's kind of what I would expect to do. You know, when I track that in practice, that's just my shot pattern. I have to allow for that. So I need to be aiming left of this flag and probably trying to hit it around about 165, 170. So that gives me an aim where I can be right, left, long or short and still on the green. So don't get suckered into those flags. Let's aim away from them. And you never know, you might push it and get a little lucky and have a tap-in birdie. So that is comfortably left of the flag, but it's into the middle of the green. I've got a chance of making birdie, but I'm probably going to make par at worst. I've taken away that double bogey, and that's the key. Right, this should be interesting. Just a low raking draw around that tree. Should land short, roll around the water up onto the green, and I should have a birdie putt. Oh God, nearly took me out. What are you doing? Don't be too aggressive like that when you're in trouble. So many times we're in trouble because we've hit a poor shot and then we try and make up for that bad shot by trying to be too aggressive, just like that person there who clearly isn't me. I'd never do that. This really should have been, okay, missed the fairway on the left, big tree in the way. That was a tough shot to get a low hooking 5-iron round there, probably out of his skill level. Let's just go out to the right of the tree, back in the fairway. This happens to be a par 5, so out there for 2, down for 3, still got a chance of making 5, at worst it's going to be 6. That ball has now gone 25 yards further back. Him, not me, has now got another you know, 30 yards for the third shot, we're now looking at double, we're looking at triple. So play each shot individually. Don't try and make up for the previous shot by being too aggressive on this shot. Take your medicine, get back into play. Being too aggressive is going to work once out of every 10 attempts. Those aren't the best odds to shoot your lowest score. Take your medicine, get it back in play, take a bogey if you have to, but it's going to keep your scorecard ticking over and it's going to get rid of those high numbers. Oh. I never had that shot. What was I doing? 3-wood was never the play there. Ball in a depression, downslope, ball below my feet. What was I thinking? Don't make the mistake of not switching on. That's one of the hardest things on the golf course. You know, we walk between each shot, so we can't stay focused and switched on for 4 hours. It's just impossible. So what we have to get good at is switching on your focus when you hit the shot, and then switching off your focus. And then your next shot, switch on, switch off. Now we're all pretty good at switching off. That's not difficult when you're playing with your mates and you're having a chat. The difficult thing is actually switching on when you got to the golf ball. So how many times have you found yourself in that scenario? You've hit a shot, as soon as you've hit that shot, it's a terrible result and you think to yourself, what on earth was I doing? It was never 3-wood from there, or it was never 8-iron from 170 yards, or I was never ready to hit that shot, or I just didn't feel comfortable. You just didn't switch on. That's where a lot of bad shots come from. But we often blame our swing, don't we? Must have been a bad swing. Well, it is going to be a bad swing if you don't switch on. So how do you actually get that into that habit of switching off and switching on? Well, I like to use little cues. So for me personally, whenever I hit a shot, I always take my glove off to walk to the next shot. So what I do is I really strongly try and use putting my glove on as my kind of cue to, right, get in the focus. So as soon as I get to my golf ball, the first thing I'll do, take my glove out and put my glove on. And for me, it's the Velcro. As soon as I do the Velcro, that's my little cue. And I almost kind of try and give myself a little tap, almost to say, right, this is me getting in the zone. Now, I don't know how many of you were playing golf or watched the Open. I believe it was 2010, maybe. Don't quote me on that. Louis Oosthuizen won that. And he had a little red dot on his glove and he was using that as his cue to get into the zone. So try and create your own little way of getting into the zone. It could be putting your bag down. It could be taking your bottle of water out and having a sip. It could be using the glove. And the other thing I like to do as well is I like to, once I've had my, I've still got the 3-wood, still not the right club. Once I've had my practice swings and I've kind of chosen the shot, I like to stand here and have a deep breath out as I stand here and I visualize the shot. And again, that's just me trying to get into the right mindset to hit this shot. It's going to help me not hit 3-wood full out 8 yards. Not the best shot, is it? And I've still got 3-wood back in there. So don't be that person. Make sure you're switching on every time you get to your shot. Right, this one is super important. Don't make the mistake of automatically aiming at the center of the fairway. Now you might be thinking, Chris, what on earth are you on about? Surely that's exactly where you want to be aiming. Well, it's not necessarily the case. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to driver. Now, I'd love to be able to say that I'm going to hit it dead straight every time, but that's not the reality. The reality is that I'm going to hit some left and some right, and I have to allow for that. So let's just have a little wander up this hole and see what would happen if I aimed down the middle of the fairway and hit one a little left and I hit one a little right. So let's say this is my tee shot. I've hit it, I'm in the fairway, I'm in the short stuff, that's exactly what I need to do from the tee. Is it? Well, not really, because as you can see, I'm completely blocked out from the green down there. I can see the flag under the branches, but that big tree is exactly where my shot needs to go. So I've now got to kind of manufacture a shot. I've got to try and hit it high or round or lay up. So even though I'm in the fairway, it's not really the ideal situation. Let's head over to the other side and see what's over there. So here, clearly, much better position. I'm actually probably some 15 paces from the edge of the fairway, but the rough is relatively short and I've got a clear shot into the green. This would be a perfect position to hit my second shot from. And I've even probably got another 10 paces to the right before I really hit any kind of trouble. So I reckon I've got 25 yards to the right of this fairway, where if I put my tee shot here, it's absolutely fine. It's a little bit of rough, but it's not going to trouble me, and I've got a clear shot into the green. So how would that then influence where we aim back on the tee? Pretty interesting, right? Little left is no good, little right is okay, and even further right is okay. So I don't want to be aiming down the middle of this fairway, because if I do, it's a little bit of imbalance. Anything left I'm blocked out, anything right I'm okay. So theoretically I've only got 50% chance of being okay. If I was to pick an aim which is right half of the fairway, and I hit it a little left, I'm in left half the fairway, can still hit the green. If I miss it a little bit right, I'm in the rough, but as we've already said, it's not that thick and I can still get on the green. So choosing the right aim based on this hole is greatly increasing the chances of me being able to get to the green with my second shot. Think about what the job of the driver is. That's purely the job of the driver. It's to put you in a position where you can get on the green in two. Choosing your aim wisely is important for that. So what I'd encourage you to do is look at what is on the left-hand side that will stop you getting to the green. Trees, bunkers, out of bounds. And what is on the right-hand side that will stop you getting on the green. On this hole, the thing on the right that would stop me getting on the green is a long way to the right. That should influence my aim. So on this particular tee shot, I'm not aiming in the middle of the fairway. I'm aiming right half, much more out towards that rough. The key thing now is being committed to that line and accepting that I'm probably going to hit a better shot as a result of that. And I reckon that's missed the fairway on the right-hand side. And that's a perfect tee shot on this hole. Right. Don't make the mistake of guessing at your yardages when you go into the green, especially when you've got hazards and water and things that you really need to avoid. Okay, things like asking your player partners how far they had when they're 20 or 30 yards further back, or just eyeballing the 150 marker and actually pacing it out. You might get a ballpark figure, but you're never going to get accurate. I use the GOLFBUDDY watch, I use the GOLFBUDDY rangefinder. Oh, get in. He thought he had 160 there, and he's actually got 174, so a good 15 yards out. Hence why his golf ball ended up in the water. So there's loads of different devices out there that you can use now. Apps on phone, GPS watches, lasers. Fantastic technology to help you get the exact number, help you pull the right club, and stop hitting good shots that end up in the water and costing you double and triple bogeys. Your fault. So there you have it. 5 really common faults that I see all the time on the golf course. And just to clear one thing up, that person that you saw hitting those bad shots, that wasn't me. Just looks very similar to me. I would never make those mistakes, and hopefully after this video you will never make those mistakes again. We are all guilty of some of them some of the time. Let's eradicate them and your scores will drop, I guarantee it. So thank you for watching. Usual stuff is down below, and the subscribe button as well. Love you to be part of the channel. More videos just like this one, helping you play some better golf, enjoy your time on the course just that little bit more.